Greetings, it is I, Category Jinro, your resident werewolf VTuber, and welcome back to the Moonlight Brew, where we serve coffee as well as adult beverages. Would you like a coffee or adult beverage, my little wolfies? So, originally today we were going to play Final Fantasy VII, the original game. I have pushed it back on the schedule for next week, wolfies. Just didn't seem like it was going to be very feasible to do it on a Wednesday. It needed a little bit more time to kind of cook in the oven, bake in the oven, whatever type of expression you want to use with an oven. So, instead, in place of it, we are going to play American Truck Simulator a little bit more. This might not be as long of a stream today. My apologies for that. Again, there's going to be a lot of error content that's going to be featured this week. That's going to be a lot longer, so that will hopefully make up for that. Plus the fact that on Friday, we have changed the schedule to a actual movie night, which I'll talk more about at the end of the stream. But with that being said, let's get into some American Truck Simulator, shall we, wolfies? These guys could be my co-pilot for the day, or navigator, I suppose, even though we do have a GPS. All right, let's go continue game. I did do a little bit off of stream, just to kind of prep us, because my truck was kind of messed up. So, I definitely didn't want to have some issues, like, with the truck, because this is my own truck. I'm not using the truck that are featured in the game. I already have the truck bought. I have my garage bought. Trying to get a second truck. We have a pretty decent rating, I hope, in our career. It says we have a 5.8 rating. I wonder what that means. I'm level 13, so I'm almost close to entrepreneur. Does it say anything about our driver, how we are in terms of how we're doing as a driver? Because it says our career. We have a 5.8 rating. I don't know if it's out of 10 or... If it's out of 10, we're just a halfway decent driver, it seems. Alright, well, with that being said, let's just get into an actual job market here. We're going to do freight jobs, although cargo would be beneficial too, but I don't have my own trailer attached, so we would have to go get the trailer, which I don't want to do at the moment. We're going to try to go for whatever's the longest. Longer things pay more, as you see. So let's try the 13-hour gig. That seems like that could be beneficial to us. It's not going to be actually 13 hours. It's going to be more like what might take us through the whole duration of the stream to complete, but it gives us a lot of money. The longer the job in-game time, the more money that you're going to make. The more precious the cargo, the more money you're going to make as well. Why did they put us here? All right, wolfies, hop in. Hop in. We don't have any time to waste here. Let me see. I always hate how they kind of start you this way, and I have to change the views because we don't want to crash the truck. I just finished repairing the truck not that long ago. I'd be very furious if I had to go repair the truck again, right? So let's see. We're gonna have to drive to the area to get the cargo first and foremost. So that's gonna take us 5 hours. I think the whole job in total is gonna take 13 hours, which is why they do that. We could take the job that's available here, but it's not gonna be as well paying, and we are trying to make more money. Wolfies, please remind me that I am going to have to fill up on some gas because our tank is about 75% of the way. And although it might be able to make it halfway through the trip, I don't want to be in a situation where I can't find a gas station and we're running low on gas. So it's your job, Wolfies, to tell me that we have to go get gas. Actually, there is a gas station right up there. Let's hit the stop sign so we don't cause an accident. Let's use our turn signal here. Turn signal. Hey, I'm driving here. I'm driving here. Are you trying to smash up my truck? I'll have to kick you behind if you do. Gonna have to get into the redneck mode here, wolfies. Alright, we got a light. Let's go for a decent turn. Let's not crash the car. Or truck, that would be pretty bad. We have to stop for gas, though. Should be a gas station. I mean, which way? Should be straight ahead, correct? I don't see the gas station, do you? Okay. I do see it. Don't tell me it's on the other side of the... We're going to make a slight detour here, wolfies, because if I don't get this gas, we're just going to have ourselves some headaches. I can always drive around, turn around if I need to. That was pretty reckless driving there. Alright. Let's stop. Well, I did stop the engine game. Okay. Apparently we didn't stop the engine there, according to the game. I like to declare shenanigans. Let's fill it up. Okay, good. Start the engine. How are we gonna drive back? And that's the... I have an idea of how we can drive back. This might be the most reckless driving in existence. Let's hope I don't smash the truck and trying to turn this around. All right. Why? Because I'm lazy. Don't ever do this in real life, Wolfies. This would be considered very reckless on my part to drive this way, but, you know, since we do need to get back on that open road, and we have to definitely get 5 hours, so that's going to take us a little bit of time. If I'm not mistaken, they said like an hour in this game. There's like 20 minutes of time, so this will take us roughly this gig, I think. So about the end of the stream. Give or take, Wolfies. Let's drive forward on the open road. 75 miles per hour. The good thing is we're not held down by weight. So, and we don't have to worry about a back area for the moment, so we can just drive the truck natural. So we'll definitely get more speed. The only thing that really too much speed, though, we don't want a speeding ticket. Gotta follow the traffic laws, Wolfies. You know, if I'm able to get you your stuff like your, you know, your new GTX 5080 cards and stuff, you know, I don't want to piss you off your mama, so to speak. It's amazing, Wolfies, that she even let you go on this trucking trip with me today here. Would you, any of you like a coffee? Because I can't give you a adult beverage today because we are driving here at the Moonlight Brew. It'd be very irresponsible to, you know, drink and drive. You don't do that. You know, only idiots drink and drive. Only drink some coffee. It is late at night though, right? It's 3:03 a.m. So that means, based on the GPS, a 5-hour, 30-minute drive. We'll probably get there in the morning. Maybe if you want to take the snooze, Wolfies, you can. I will promise I won't crash the car. Give or take. At least it looks like it's going to be smooth sailing because there's not a lot of people on the road. 3 o'clock in the morning. So how are all of you doing? I had a very interesting 2 weeks here at the Moonlight Brew. I cannot complain. There's been a lot of paperwork that I've had to do, a lot of planning for future content. I've been doing a couple of YouTube shorts. I had actually a funny incident that happened with a YouTube short just recently. So I put out a, you know, funny story that was cut up from the last Dragon Ball Fighter stream that we did, right? So I told the story of how, you know, I dated a girl who was only interested in dating me at the time for Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and then kind of broke up with me. Got with another dude at the same hobby shop, and I bumped into her like years later at a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament and decided to like throw the match so that she could go in because I was feeling, you know, nice, and I was dumb and naive young man. And that story apparently ruffled a couple of people's feathers. I think. I'm not really even too sure because somebody gave me like a YouTube comment and then it's like, you are, what was the word they used? Your existence is fascinating. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to take that as a compliment or if that was like a backhanded insult. To say the least, I was just a little bit perplexed by that. And it's kind of funny sometimes because like, I wasn't telling the story out of saltiness. This was like an older, more mature me telling the story of how, you know, sometimes the message was that sometimes we do things for people that we like when we're young and naive and we get taken advantage of. And at the time, you know what, we're hurt and heartbroken over it. But when we were adults, we can look back at it and laugh about like, man, how silly was I? How dumb was I? And that was like the message I was trying to convey with the YouTube short. And unfortunately for that one person, perhaps, I feel like some of that message might have gotten lost and they took it as me trying to attack the opposite gender, which was obviously not the case. Why would I do that? A lot of my friends are of the opposite gender or aren't even identified as any particular gender for that matter, and I'm cool with that, you know. So it's kind of silly sometimes how people on the internet kind of react to things that are not meant to be taken necessarily so seriously. I remember I had a content creator friend that made like a joke about a game, and it wasn't like an offensive joke whatsoever, but the person took the joke way too seriously, like one of the viewers, and they were trying to cancel the person for it. And it wasn't even like an offensive joke whatsoever. It's just one of those things where, yeah, I don't know. I think we live in an age, and I've said this before in the last American Truck Simulator stream I did, where people are perhaps a little too sensitive when it comes to like stuff on the internet. Like, I, as a content creator, I'll tell you straight up, I've been told some really mean things. Past self, when my past self used to do content on this channel, he would get told some of the meanest stuff on the planet. because I was doing games that, you know, where their communities kind of, I don't want to say gatekeep necessarily, but they like to exclude people from it because, you know, there's obviously always going to be a stigma when it comes to VTubers, right? Like, not everybody understands VTubers. Maybe that's why the person, even in the comment, was saying, like, your existence is fascinating. Maybe that's the first time they ever saw a VTuber and they felt like I was, like, you know, a very interesting type of viewing experience, perhaps, maybe. But, like, when it comes to, like, stuff like that, I've been told so many things. So, like, I don't really, whenever I see a comment and I can't really make sense of it, I don't even get upset over it. I kind of laugh and I try to put myself in the shoes of the viewer as to what they're trying to convey to me. And then sometimes it's like, I really don't understand. And that one was like, because I've never heard that expression before. I thought, like, I even went onto the Urban Dictionary to try to see if it was like, you know, Zoomer talk, so to speak, where maybe they were trying to tell me something, you know, like a backhanded compliment or insult. I couldn't find anything, so I don't know if it was a compliment or what. But, like, even if it was an insult, I would just laugh, because I've always said, like, and this is something that every content creator has to learn very early on, is like, as a content creator, you're never going to be everybody's cup of tea, right? That's just life. That's how it is in any content creation. Whether you're a VTuber, whether you're a journalist, you know, whether you're an actor, sometimes your performance is not going to be a performance that's everybody's cup of tea. And what do you do in those situations? Well, you don't. You take the legitimate criticisms, like if it's constructive criticism, to heart, because there is good constructive criticism out there. And you take it to heart and you learn from it, because you can become a better creator for it, right? And then the criticism that's not actually constructive, that's just meant to, like, try to gauge you and upset you and bar you, or like try to troll you, you don't even take it to heart. You look at it, you click delete, you click on YouTube, there's a great feature that I always use called mute and hide from the channel. The person can continue to comment negatively at you and you will never ever actually see it. I do that mostly for things that I don't feel are constructive criticisms, and it's worked wonders for me over the 4 years, because it's like I always say, the person doesn't know me personally, I don't know them personally, I don't know what's going on in their life. It's the internet, right? On the internet there are people, we've seen it just with, like, in North America with the presidential election, that there are people out there who, you know, their mental health is not necessarily the most stable. I'm not making fun of people with mental health issues, because it's very important to, you know, understand that mental health has an issue in America that goes constantly unchecked, and that people have to, sometimes it takes a strong person, right, to identify that they're having issues, right? But mental health on the internet kind of go hand in hand, right? So you have to sometimes kind of figure, maybe this is a person that's, you know, a little disturbed, unhinged. So that's why I never take necessarily anything at face value. If it's like a personal friend, and then it's a little different then, I suppose. And even then, like, you know, my personal friends, generally speaking, although I have, you know, people or viewers that are cool with my viewers, but I wouldn't necessarily say I'm, like, gonna invite them over for tea and crumpets necessarily, because I've never believed as a VTuber in parasocial relationships. I don't like to even kind of play up on that, which has given me a little bit of criticism in the VTuber sphere from people, because a lot of the time what has happened is, as a VTuber, the way that I present myself is a little bit more unorthodox, right? I talk about certain topics that VTubers probably shouldn't necessarily that want to go corporate talk about. I am, you know, one of those people that doesn't believe in being parasocial, where, you know what, I'll be like, do you believe in me, Wolfies, like I believe in you? Because I always truly believe in the message that I believe in. All of you who are my viewers, and all of you who might still just be discovering me, have the power to become completely amazing individuals and accomplish your goals and dreams. You know, I'm all about lifting people up and not putting them down. That's not an act. That is just how I am as a human being. Like, I want to see all my homies do well. I want to see all my fellow creators do well. I'm not out here to compete with anybody, which has always been a common misconception, I feel like, in the VTuber community, as people view me and then will think like I'm trying to take somebody's job, or I'm trying to get a job at a certain place, or that I'm trying to steal viewers away, because, you know, obviously people who know me, I do play certain video games at a bit higher of a skilling, or I guess you could say skill ceiling, than some people who do play the same games that I do. But, you know, I'm not out here to try to threaten people's existence or to take their jobs or to take their Oshis. Or, you know, usually when I'm in somebody's chat, if they're like a famous quote-unquote VTuber, I don't even really view VTubers that are higher up on the food chain necessarily famous. Like, you know, maybe I would say Iron Mouse, because Iron Mouse is actually like a household name at this point because of stream rewards. But like, if you go and say some other people's names, they're not necessarily like Iron Mouse has collabed with like flesh tubers, right? So like Iron Mouse, like a lot of people that don't even watch VTubers know of Iron Mouse because that's how they've transcended, right? But you know, like for me, it's like I do things unorthodox. So that might threaten some people because, you know, I don't lie to people. I'm not going to play a game, and if the game's crappy, I'm going to tell you, yeah, you should go out and buy this game, or yeah, you should go out and download this game, or yeah, you should go buy this game, or whatever, because I'm not about that. Because obviously people who have followed me on this channel for years know that I did gaming journalism and, you know, entertainment journalism for a long time where I reviewed things. And I always believed, even then, that there's power in telling the truth and being credible and not lying to your viewer base. And that's why I have as good of a reputation as my personal self, still within the community, that I have a lot of developers that I still talk to and I'm very friendly with. Because, and even other creators that are flesh tubers, because I've always prided myself on telling the truth. You know, so, you know, I'm not going to do certain things that other people will do. Like, I don't jump necessarily on VTuber trends. Like, I do enjoy American Truck Simulator. I've played it a while. People know this. I've played Monster. A funny thing for me, personally, was I've had people criticize me for playing Monster Hunter World and Rise lately and say that I'm a bandwagon jumper. Meanwhile, I've played Monster Hunter Rise since it came out on Nintendo Switch here on the channel. I've played the game since it came out here on the channel. I've played Monster Hunter World for the last, like, 4 years of the channel. These are games that I've played before everybody was returning to World. These are games that I've played when Rise came out. I played Rise. When Sunbreak came out, I played Sunbreak on the channel. I'm not a bandwagon jumper. I've played Monster Hunter for at least over 10 or 12 years at this point, Wolfie. So it's funny, sometimes I get, like, in comments, and those comments don't stay, of, yeah, you're just bandwagon jumping, or you took this from, like, big corporate agency is doing it and you took the idea from them. No, I hate to tell you, like, even the corporate people that were doing it took the idea from somebody else at some point. Like, let's be honest, when it comes to streaming and content creation, people that like to play games are going to play the same games. It's just what happens, right? When things are popular, sometimes people play things that are popular. I mean, I will probably still play World even after the Return to World campaign dies out. I'm playing Sunbreak this weekend, and Sunbreak's not necessarily popular anymore, but I go and I play that game as well. People who are, like, well-known in Monster Hunter community know when they see my screen name that I play and jump in lobbies who that is, because I've played Monster Hunter for years. I was in speedrun tournaments for, this might dox me a little bit, but I don't necessarily care, because what are you going to do? I'll invite you over for tea and crumpets if that's the case. At Nintendo New York, I participated in speedrunning tournaments for Monster Hunter 4U Ultimate. In fact, my team was runner-up one time, and we won one time. So, you know, I've been around the communities for a lot longer than I've even been around the VTuber communities. So I always kind of get a laugh when people are saying, like, necessarily I stole an idea from insert name VTuber, insert popular name VTuber, when that's not. Like, I guarantee you what's going to happen in the not too distant future is Gigabash is getting new DLC, and I'm friends with the developers of Gigabash. It's not a very well kept secret. Anybody who follows me on Twitter knows that I talk to the developers of that, and a very good friend of theirs that works for a publication that I'm friends with from my IRL self journalism days. So, you know, it's when Gigabash Ghidorah DLC comes out, because King Ghidorah is definitely, I can tell you 100% based on the reveal and that's not really a spoiler because you saw it in the trailer. It got revealed. King Ghidorah is one of the fighters. I won't tell you who the other 3 fighters are. I do have an idea already of who one of the other characters is that's going to be the wild card, just based on things that I've seen. But you know, it's one of those things where, you know, I'm going to be playing that and people will probably say I'm bandwagon track on that too, when that's not necessarily the case. Like, would it be crazy if I told you that perhaps your Moonlight Brewmaster has friends that develop for Monster Hunter? Maybe, you know, I've played a while. Like, I will give you a funny thing. You know, Monster Hunter World, Iceborne/World was down on PC on Steam for quite a while. Actually, I did a recording of this week, right? And people were on the Steam forum saying, yeah, this is down and everything. Who do you think was the one who told Capcom directly that the game wasn't working? Is it crazy to think that, you know, Katagiri Jinro could possibly know people at Capcom? Like, I sent them a tweet and the game got fixed. It took a while, but the game got fixed. It only happened after I sent them a tweet regarding that. Is it crazy to think that, you know, your Moonlight Brewmaster has connections places? Yeah, so it's always funny because, like, games I play, either I have some connection to some of the developers. They don't give me the free copies. It's not like it's sponsored content. But, you know, it's just kind of, it always makes me laugh then. And then people are like, you're copying someone. So, no, man. Like, I will tell you a little secret about journalism, right? When publications like IGN, what is another one that was popular? IGN, GameSpot. I hate to say Kotaku because I do not consider Kotaku a legitimate gaming journalism website. I do not believe in the type of journalism that they do because I feel like they have pushed agendas that are not part of the industry, and they do a lot of irresponsible journalism, and they're not really necessarily focusing on the importance, which is like the quality of the games and the quality of the game industry, right? They kind of have other agendas that they try to push out, which I'm not 100% for, right? But, like, you know, there's these publications, when they review these video games, do you think honestly 98% of them are paying for the video games that they get? No, they're all getting reviewer copies. That's part of the business. Even some of the smaller blogger websites that you see, and I know this because guess what? I was a games journalist. I can tell you these things. A lot of the game websites, a lot of the even the smaller blogs will get free reviewer copies from indie devs. To that extension, do you think a lot of your popular famous streamers that you watch are paying necessarily for some of the games that they feature on their channel? No. Some of them they do pay out of their pocket. Some of them they are friends with developers and they will get thrown a bone. Some of them will say it's sponsored content because that's what you're supposed to do on YouTube. Some of them will pretend that they paid for the game and it won't be sponsored content, and they just kind of get away with it because YouTube is kind of lax with that stuff. But, you know, it's one of those you scratch my back, I'll scratch your type of situations, which is kind of one of the reasons why I kind of left the game journalism necessarily scene, because when I used to do it back in the day, like, you would get the reviewer copies, but you would tell an honest opinion with the reviews. And when I was getting out of the industry, this is circa 2012, right? What ended up happening was I used to have conflict because, like, game companies would want me to write a favorable review for them on games that weren't necessarily... I don't have to... You could bypass the nearby weight station. Yeah, because I don't have any weight on me. We're gonna bypass that one. We don't have to go in there, so we don't need to. But one of the things is, like, game companies towards the end would get upset because they would give me a reviewer copy, right? And I would tell my honest opinion of that the game was not necessarily up to snuff, that either there were problems with the gameplay loop, or there were problems with game mechanics, or there were a lot of glitches, or graphically for the system that it was on necessarily, it wasn't necessarily the best. And those game developers would be upset and would try to come back to me and try to get the score changed. And then I would refuse to change the score because, again, I am not in the business of lying to people. I feel like that's irresponsible journalism and content creation now. And it still kind of happens even as category general. I will pull back the curtain a little bit more. I have had times where indie game developers see that I am a VTuber and content creator and I have a decent enough following and will try to get me to play an indie game, right? And the indie game, they will like kind of hope that I will do a favorable review for them and I will reject their offers. You know, because it's gotten to the point where it's like, I'm not going to lie about something. I will review your game and I will play your game and give my honest opinions. And if you like it as a game developer, that's great. We can do business. And if you don't like it as a game developer, then no, we cannot do business personally. Like, I will give you an opinion right now about... Is this actually where we're going to pick this stuff up? Yeah. I will give you an opinion about American Truck Simulator. I think American Truck Simulator is a great game. I have a lot of fun playing American Truck Simulator. I think graphically, yeah, it could be a little bit better in terms of the engine. Because even on the highest graphic settings with my graphics card, it still kind of looks not rough, but it looks a little bit on the more outdated side. But American Truck Simulator, I think, has a fascinating... We're getting the 2700 one. Wait, what am I doing? Okay. So we're gonna... Do we have to stock this? Can I skip this? Proceed to the loading area. What's the loading area? Do you see it? Do you see it? It looks like the loading area is out the back. Okay, let's make sure we don't crash a car while we're here. So, like, American Truck Simulator, graphically, it could be a little bit better, but most simulator games kind of work on the same type of game engines. So that's just kind of one of those things where until they kind of change the game engines that they're using, it's always going to kind of look this way. Kind of reminds me of like Thief Simulator and Thief Simulator 2. Where is this? See it? Should be somewhere around here, right? Did we see it? Is it here? I want to say it's here. Is it here? Where's this? Let me get to first person view. Oh, it's that one, huh? Oh, it's gonna really make me do all the work? Okay. So, like, the other thing with American Truck Simulator is I think that the gameplay loop is really enjoyable. I don't actually drive in real life, right? I gotta reposition here, that's why I'm doing this. So I don't drive in real life, right? But playing this game, I kind of feel like I would be mostly... I use the term mostly kind of loosely. Competent enough to understand the basics of driving. It's very immersive, right? Man, I hate this particular area because it's just so tight, right? So we need to come in a little bit more different in terms of angle. All right, so what's happening here is I need to get the car perfectly over this way, right? So we gotta back in. Gotta be careful that I'm much. Certainly crush the truck almost. We're almost there. Just a matter of positioning the wheels the way they gotta go, so we gotta turn the wheels this way. It's gonna be a really tight one. Let's see if I can... Not that way. We'll turn the wheels this way. You're probably like, why category? Trust me. Gotta back up the truck. Okay. Let's see if I can turn it a little bit. This is the hardest part about American Truck Simulator, right? Alright. I think if we do this... we turn this way. Should be able to latch on there. Okay, let's reposition a little bit. Let's keep it straight here. Took damage. Can we latch onto it? No, we can't. It's still off a bit. This is always the rough part, man. Let's see. Gotta get it a little bit more. A little bit more. We're gonna go in slowly this time. Because I feel like we're trying to rush it, right? Okay. Connecting. Should be good to go now. Which way we're driving out? Definitely not that way. Alright, so we're going to make this delivery, which is, holy crap, 13 hours, literally. So it's probably going to take us all the way to the stream to complete this one, Wolfies, but it's fine. This pays quite a lot of money, which is kind of the objective that I wanted to do. But yeah, you know, so when it comes to even stuff like that, it's like, I wish more people were a bit more genuine, which is why I feel like sometimes people that are in the VTuber community in particular come at odds with me. Because I try to... Ooh, that's going to be a rough one to go through. I try to keep it as genuine as possible and as real as possible as a creator. And that's kind of like a big no-no, right? I mean, that's kind of why, to a lesser degree, everybody remembers a very popular Hollow Star member that left, and him used to keep things very, very real in his, when he was a Hollow Stars member. I'm not going to name drop, but he went back to being an orc, and, you know, I kind of am in the boat like he is. He's very genuine, and I try to keep my presentation as a VTuber genuine, where it's not me being fake, when I try to keep it real, right? Like, so I was talking the other day about fan subs. Remember, Wolfies? We got to get gas for this 13-hour ride, because we're definitely not going to be able to do it otherwise. But yeah, you know, the other day I was talking about Dragon Ball. I was talking about how my first experiences with anime was, like, I watched back in the day Toonami era, right, of Dragon Ball, where it was the ocean dub. And, you know, back then there was not a lot of English VHS cassettes, because DVDs were, like, just becoming a thing, right? So, oh, can't drive that way. That would be... Oh, the trailer got damaged. It's a good thing that it's not my trailer, though, right? It's okay, the cargo will be just fine. It's just 2% damage. But, yeah, so, like, back then, anime was not widely available in America. So, the way you would get your anime from Japan that was just, like, debuting, you would... doing 55 here, mile per hour. You can bypass the nearby wait station. Okay, so we don't have to get weighted. That's fine. Good to know. But, yeah, so... you know, back then, anime, the way you used to be able to get anime and watch it was, there was no real English dub companies at the time. There were very few of them. They didn't put out a lot of anime. Most of the anime that came out in the Toonami era, before that even, were like anime from the 80s on VHS and DVDs. It wasn't even the 90s, yeah. So, like, to watch current stuff in Japan, and this is, keep in mind, like, before the internet even was kind of really coming of age. So, you know, this is before streaming platforms and before DVDs, you had to watch anime via fan subs, where you would buy, like, bootleg fan sub VHS tapes that you would get either, like, at anime conventions, or if you had, like, a local Chinatown type of or Asian type of market where people would actually sell that type of stuff. So, you know, my exposure to Dragon Ball was, like, I saw the Toonami, and then it only went up to right before the Frieza saga began, like, has Goku become a Super Saiyan? Find out at the next Dragon Ball Z. And then you didn't know what happened, because it would go back to the first episode again of Raditz showing up. So, you know, I watched the rest of Dragon Ball, including the movies that took years to come out, via the fan sub market. Neon Genesis Evangelion, that didn't get dubbed for a very, very long time, when anime then started becoming popular for, like, via Toonami. So a lot of stuff that I saw back then, like, I saw Gundam Wing before Gundam Wing even debuted on, like, Toonami. You know, a lot of that stuff that you couldn't really watch it. There wasn't much. Like, before that, like, there was Robotech was on television. Robotech's like the... I'm not cursing here because this is how you actually label it. The bastardized version of Macross and 2R series. Super Dimensional Cavalry Severn Cross, which was a series that actually got canceled in Japan, which is why it kind of doesn't make too much sense how it fits in. Like, how it ends, the Robotech Master Saga of Robotech, is, like, very, very abrupt, right? And the reason for that was because the Japanese anime got canceled. There was supposed to be a whole second half of the season, so it was supposed to be, like, 30-something odd episodes, if not more. And the series got canceled. So even the series, like, the way it ends in Japan is confusing, because it's, like, the way it ends seems like the good guys lose, and in a way it kind of is, because they awaken the flower. Very similar to how it kind of ends. And it's very disjointed. Then the other series was Genesis Climber Mosopedia, which is the new generation of Robotech. That series actually did get to actually finish in Japan. I feel like the Japanese version's a little bit better than the English version, although my first exposure to it was Robotech. Like, that was like most people, and Voltron, right? Because Voltron, aka Go Liger, that was like people's most of anime they saw. Then like Sci-Fi Channel, when the Sci-Fi Channel first came out, they showed, what was it, Tenchi Muyo in Love 2, which is the second movie. Or correction, the first movie, Tenchi Muyo in Love, which is the first Tenchi movie, right? Yeah, that's right, because Endure Darkness is the second one, even though it's technically OVA. And then there's Tenchi Forever, which is aka Tenchi Muyo in Love 2 in Japan. But I digress. We need some gas, man. Where's the nearest gas station? We got a 14-hour drive ahead of us here, Wolfies. Hopefully we'll be able to finish this one out on stream. But yeah, you know, so Tenchi Muyo, they showed that on the Sci-Fi Channel one time. So that was like one of the first things I saw. I forgot what grade I was in school at the time. But yeah, that was one thing I saw. And then Iria, aka Zeram, which is based off the live action movie. Zeram is a great live action movie. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. But the anime is even better. So Iria, what was it called? Zeram the Protector, I want to say? Or Zeram the Collector? I have to look it up. I can't look it up right now because I'm in the middle of the game, right? But that was a really, really good anime. Really good. It was more like an OVA than was necessarily anime movie. I would love to watch that. I don't know. Stop for the red light. Let's not be foolish here. I would love to watch that again. That would be a cool watch-along to watch with all of you Wolfies. But yeah, they showed that. And the other thing they showed on Sci-Fi Channel, because they used to do like anime movies at the weirdest time. Sometimes in the morning, they would do it like Saturday mornings for a while at like 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. And then it got changed where they moved it to like anime randomly being aired at like 12 o'clock at night on the Sci-Fi Channel every, I think it was like Friday going into Saturday, or might have been Saturday going into Sunday for a while. So they showed Yurosol Yatsuro 2, the movie, Beautiful Dreamer, which is one of my favorite movies. That's how I got exposed to Yurosol Yatsuru, the anime series, which I still haven't finished. Because I was watching, not the remake, because there's the remake now. I haven't actually seen any of the remake. But I was watching the original OG series because I got interested in wanting to watch it after seeing all the movies. Because I saw like the last movie, which concluded the story. And it got me a little nostalgic to watch it. And I didn't get too far into the anime series because I didn't realize it was like done in the style of Crayon Shinchan, aka Shinchan in America. Another fun series that I do enjoy watching. But yeah, so it was like Crayon Shinchan. So it was like a more of an anthology each episode, and it wasn't like a continuing necessarily storyline arc. So what ended up happening was, you know, I watched some of it and then I just kind of checked out because I have to be in a certain mind frame to want to watch like an anthology where not every episode is continuous into the next one. So that kind of like hurt my interest in wanting to watch it, because sometimes you just want to watch something that's a bit more serial. Like, you know, if I'm watching Macross, I know I'm going to get like 36 episodes and they're all going to be continuous story that carry into the next one, right? So, but that was like early exposure to anime. And then when Toonami came on, then people got more exposure to anime. And then eventually, because anime started getting popular thanks to Toonami, a lot more anime conventions on the East Coast, where I resided for quite a while, started popping up. And then, you know, the anime con scene started popping up. And when the anime con scene started popping up, can we get gas at this station? Or will it be too big of a deviation? Gotta keep an eye on the exit, because this is a long drive, Wolfies. I think we could go a little bit more to the next gas station, because we'd have to get off the exit here. Yeah. No? Should we get gas? I don't like the car that's in front of me, so I'm just gonna... Oh, we just did a terrible mistake. This is why I don't drive in real life, right? We might cause a car accident. Hopefully, this car just drives, and the car behind me doesn't try to rear end me. Okay. Yes, they obeyed the law of the open road. When there's a truck, always let the truck go first, right? Alright. Yeah, so like, then anime conventions started really, let me check a look at my rearview mirrors, popping up quite a bit. So when they started to pop up quite a bit, then, you know, American companies started to dub more anime series and pick up anime series on VHS cassettes. And then from VHS, it moved over to DVDs, because it's ironic, when they started picking up the VHS anime stuff, it was right when DVDs were phasing out VHS cassettes. So then, you know, like everybody, DVD anime, I remember I paid $40 for Tenchi Muyo Movie 2, Daughter of Darkness, which, as most people know, is like a 49, 52-minute OVA, not even a movie, but they labeled it a movie. I spent $40 for that DVD. Then there was another DVD by the name of Sakura Wars, which is based off the video games of the same name by Sega. I spent like $50 for Sakura Wars, which was, again, an OVA that didn't even tell the whole actual story necessarily of it, because anime, believe it or not, in its English dubbed, and sometimes those DVDs didn't even have the subtitle versions on, was freaking expensive back then, because they knew they could charge a lot for the DVDs, and because the fad was still kind of a fad and it was hard to get a lot of DVDs, it was a problem. So that's kind of how like anime was for me. So a lot of the time you either had to pay overpriced for DVDs, or the DVDs weren't, you know, a studio didn't pick up an anime. And then, let's slow down. I got a ticket. I knew I was going to get a ticket because I saw the cop car, but I couldn't slow down enough time. That's speeding, and that's completely on me. The cop literally just drove by and gave us the ticket. He was ready to narc us there. But yeah, you know, so, you know, back then, like a lot of the series that didn't get picked up on the expensive DVDs and VHS, you had to go to the fan sub market. And then, you know, obviously things changed quite a bit. Where then, I'm not advocating for these things. Again, I didn't advocate necessarily for fan subs, but at the time, as an anime fan, there wasn't a lot. I then went and bought official releases. I just told you the story of how I spent $55 for Sakura Wars DVD, the OVA. The OVA, man. And it's a very short type of OVA. You know? So yeah, you know, that I supported it then, but there were times when, as much as you want to support it, the actual anime that you really wanted to watch that was popular, everybody was talking about, wasn't actually out in your country. So, you know, fan subs were the way. And it's not much different than what a lot of people did for like Bleach and Naruto, let's be honest. Before people bought the Blu-rays and DVDs of Bleach and Naruto, before streaming was very popular, what were people doing? They were downloading them off of Kazaa or LimeWire, and everybody knows that when you were downloading stuff off of LimeWire, you were probably downloading also viruses onto your computer. And yeah, that's kind of what happened, you know what? So people used to download episodes that way. Imagine downloading anime episodes, like a half-hour episode of anime on a 56K connection. Because remember, this was even before really high-speed internet was a thing yet. Like, to download a 30-minute episode, or sometimes a 24-minute episode of something that might have been fan subbed on the internet on dial-up connection with a 56K modem, not to be confused with, like, what was it, the R1 26K? I even forget, because it's been forever, right? That type of stuff would take you 3 hours and 30 minutes. And you would kind of like pray that your internet connection wouldn't, or your phone company wouldn't like disconnect the call. Because if it disconnected the call, you would have to re-download the thing and it would take another 3.5 hours. Which could royally suck for people. You know, but that was your way to like necessarily watch anime back then, when there weren't like officially licensed versions of stuff out yet. You know, I always say support your, you know, the local anime industry and stuff. Don't do naughty things. But back then, this is how us old school people, I'm not saying I'm old, but I'm just saying, you know, I'm one of the more seasoned veterans of anime and video games. That's how we had to do things. You know, people nowadays, gamers complain with a little bit of lag in their video games, but like, just imagine trying to play Rainbow Six on a 56K connection. The original Rainbow Six. Imagine playing Diablo 2. Like, people complain nowadays about Diablo 2 resurrecting lag. Imagine playing Diablo 2, Lord of Destruction, the original game. Let me slow down so I don't get a ticket here because I'm getting passionate about this discussion here, Wolfies. On a low end, not so much a low end, but on a 56K connection, and like you're in the middle of raiding and stuff and you get disconnected. You know, this is how gaming was back then. Like, people used to play on their Sega Dreamcast. That was like the first console that was actually had a 56K modem on it, right? So what did you do? I'm so mad that there was a gas station right here and I didn't have to get off or exit that I did, but it's fine. So yeah, you know, back then, this is the way things were done. And it's funny, like, you know, how things have evolved so much. Now we have streaming media where you just pay $9 and you will watch your desired anime series on Crunchyroll. Or you will watch it on, you know, I think there's some Netflix animes as well. You know, people, I'm not saying anime fans have it easy now, but anime fans don't know what it was like, the struggle of, like, trying to watch something on the internet back then. Like, if you didn't want to download necessarily the episode of something, you had to, like, stream it, and streaming on 56K connection for 3 hours, good luck with that, bro. Like, anime fans in this day and age have it easy. Us older people, we had to struggle to see things. We want to watch the Guyver OVAs. Well, good luck with that, fam. It took like 10 years before that even came out. If you wanted to watch, you know, Tenchi Muyo, or you would have to hope that they showed that stuff on TV, and that wasn't, you know, a thing then. Like, it's just interesting. You know, and a lot of anime, even like Voltron, that was, you know, cut up and edited severely to be what it was, you know, to appeal towards children. And Robotech definitely completely cut up. Like, Super Dimensional Fortress compared to Robotech Season 1, a dramatically different series. That's why I'm kind of hyped now that, like, Macross 7 is going to be available on Disney Plus, as well as, I think it's Macross Plus, Frontier, and Delta are all allegedly going to get also some treatments as well on Disney Plus. Like, I think it's going to be cool that people are going to be able to watch anime and series that they never were able to get, like, in America. Like, again, going back to old me, you know how I watched Macross 7? Same way I was watching Dragon Ball Z. I was lucky that the place that I got my Dragon Ball Z fix from, that had, like, all the old, you know, newer episodes, quote unquote, you know, compared to what was shown on Toonami, had Macross 7, so I was able to watch Macross 7 thanks to the fan sub market. And I never got to see that series ever again, so I'm, like, really happy it's coming to Disney Plus, because you know what, I didn't have access to that stuff anymore, and it's just kind of cool to be able to watch that again. It's a good series. I think a lot of people are going to find out it's probably not their cup of tea because it's dramatically different from the Macross that they're expecting. Like, Macross Plus, when it goes on Disney Plus, if you haven't seen that, that's probably one of the best Macross things they've done in recent years. I'd say stay away from Macross 2. I didn't really get to see much of Macross Frontier. I think I saw like 4 episodes of it. Macross Delta, I didn't get to see any of it, so this will be like, when it comes out, will be my first exposure to it. Again, it's hard, if it doesn't come out and it doesn't get licensed in America, like, trying to get it is very, very difficult. But going back to my previous thought too, like, Naruto fans will probably criticize me, like they did in the YouTube short, about me watching stuff on fan submarket, and yet those Naruto fans were watching it and downloading it off of torrent websites, the Japanese episodes. So I really don't, and, you know, like, fan websites too, right? So I really don't understand why they criticize old Boomer for Dragon Ball stuff, when back then it was very similar to the Naruto thing. The episodes weren't available for you to watch in America. It was not distributed yet. So the only way was for fan sub market, right? You know, it's something, you know, that still kind of just happens. The industry's gotten better now. You know, a lot more things are being picked up by Crunchyroll for simulcast, which I think is cool. That's the one good thing about technology, that you can now have simulcasts that actually happen for series, and they're even subtitled. You know, the industry has changed dramatically over the last several years compared to what it was like when I was growing up. You know, so it's cool. It's a dramatic change. I don't know how we ended up getting into this big tirade about anime, but we did. You know, it's cool. People ask me if I got a chance to see X-Men 97, because people do know I'm a fan of original cartoon, and I was hyped up. I have not had the time to watch it yet because honestly, I've been very busy on the content end of side of things. I've been dealing with some behind the scenes business deals. People know that I've applied to different places, just kind of putting the feelers out there if people want to see the Moonlight Brewmaster in different places. I've had discussions with places. Nothing much has come of them yet. Again, you know, for me, I'm a much different type of VTuber than what most people are expecting. I'm very open and honest. I don't know if the world is ready for an incredibly open and honest VTuber that can just kind of pull back the curtain. Like, I'm talking about VHS cassettes. I'm talking about DVDs. I'm talking about like anime convention scene in a very early sci-fi channel, and you know, so I'm pulling the curtain back quite a bit, like some people. And you know, obviously I've referenced the Big Apples, so you can draw certain conclusions to that as well. You know, these are kind of big no-nos that you do, I suppose. You're not supposed to do it, but it's like, you know, when I look at things here at the Moonlight Brew, I look at my Wolfpack and my Wolfies, and just trying to keep a genuine presentation. Like, is it a bad thing that, you know, that I live mostly from time to time on the East Coast, that I might reside in the Big Apple? No, again, what are you going to do? You don't know who my identity is, really, right? So, is it a bad thing that, you know, that I live in New York? No, I don't really feel like it's a big deal. What's the big deal? You don't know my face. I've never shown my face. I don't show my name, so, you know, again, what are you going to do? I'm going to invite you to tea and crumpets, and you'll be so bored of me talking about stuff and ranting about, like, film, cinema, and video games, and how things were back in the day for anime. Like, you know, but that's the one good thing about me being an indie VTuber, right? Like, I can have these conversations with you. We can talk about things that maybe you don't know about, and how it was like for me. Like, how many of you in my chat probably have ever seen a VHS cassette? How many of you have put a VHS cassette into a tape? How many of you have? I have. How many of you have watched TV by 4:3 ratio? You know, where it's that square box that sometimes you'll see like on HD channels for really old movies. How many of you know what a CRT is? How many of you played a Nintendo Entertainment System? How many of you have played a Sega Genesis, a Sega CD, a Sega 32X? I have. All those things I listed, I have done. How many of you have used a payphone on a street? You know, the type that you had to put quarters in. I have. So, you know, this is things. I like to keep things real here, Wolfies. I'm not trying to deceive anybody. I'm not trying to put up a false presentation of where I am. You know, I've been around. You know, I'm proud to say that I'm probably one of the people who is responsible for making the anime industry as popular as it is now, the gaming industry as popular. Like, my contributions throughout the years have made things the way they are. It's cool. Like, for me now, it's amazing to see that video games are mainstream. It is awesome. I would have never guessed in my wildest dreams that streamer culture would become a thing. I would have never thought people would watch people playing video games on the internet ever in my day. Like, all these things seemed very unheard of. Like, you know, I remember when YouTube started and people were like, yeah, that's never going to catch on. I remember people used to post like silly little videos, and like nobody really knew how YouTube would even evolve, right? I always felt like it had some potential. I was interested in YouTube in general. I did things IRL stuff even on YouTube over the years because I've just been fascinated with it. But I remember a time when people were like, yeah, that's never going to catch on. That's stupid. People watching people do silly things on the internet. Even though not a lot of people... Why is there... Oh, okay, hold on. Let me... This car's gonna rear-end me. Move. What are you doing? What are you doing? Move. You gotta move on. You almost caused a car crash. Literally almost caused an accident. That's the one thing I do hate in... What are you doing? Go. That's the one thing I dislike in American Truck Simulator. Sometimes if you're doing too well on the open road, they will find a way to try to get you to screw up, right? It's closed. I can't go for that route? Okay. game is trolling me. We have to take an opposite route then, which means our journey is going to take a little bit longer here. 10 hours. Looks like a cop car pulled over that truck. Why? So yeah, that's the good thing that we can do, you know, things of this nature will be. So we're going to look on our GPS to see what's the easiest way to it looks like we're going to have to drive around to get through here. Hopefully this doesn't screw up our course here, but it looks like we're going to have to make a big U-turn here. Can I drive off this exit? Yeah, drive off this exit and go around. Yeah. So, you know, it's cool to see things how they've blown up. I never thought YouTube was going to get popular. I never thought people would ever be watching people play video games on the internet. VTubing? I didn't see that ever coming. I never thought somebody would create technology of this nature. And that's the really great thing about VTubing, too, that I don't think a lot of people understand. You know, there's people who cannot show their face for work purposes, myself included in that. People are always like, why are you a VTuber and you're not a flesh tuber? Well, because I just told you a lot of stuff about myself. You know, I have worked in the journalism industry. So my identity sometimes must remain a secret. Because then I would have people harass me nonstop if I do take journalism gigs or I do stuff still for publications from time to time when they need a favor. And they will, you know, be like, wait, is this you on camera? Yeah, and it'll be a little bit harder. On top of that, I do work in the film industry, and in the film industry from time to time, they frown about us showing our face quite a bit, which is always kind of weird because I'm not an actor. I don't work on that side of the film industry. Is there a way to get around here? Let's see. Let me cook here, Wolfies. Let me cook. I'm trying to see if there's a way out. Is there? Don't ever do what I just did. Don't ever do what I just did. I just took a shortcut, literally. And it worked. Alright. Huh? Alright, can we take another shortcut? Why is this whole road work? Oh, my trailer got a little damage. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine, Wolfies. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Still good. Still good. Still good, Wolfies. Still good. Yeah, but that's the... Oh, my car. Well, guess who's gonna have to go repair his car after this? Oh, I you know, modern problems require modern solutions, right? Is that wrong? Is it so wrong to try to find a solution to the problem? I will have to get my car fixed, though. Does there happen to be an area I can fix it right now? No. Okay, it's fine. 6% damage. It hasn't ruined anything else. And we have the road to ourselves. That was an easy way to solve that problem, so to speak. Hey, it beat like being stuck and not being able to continue with the playthrough because we were just going to drive around in circles and there was not going to be a way to get around. But at least this way we have a free road. There's no traffic on it. See, that guy knew what's up. He probably drove around too. But, you know, it's cool. I love the fact that now, you know, we have stuff like VTubing to keep people's identity safe, you know, and a lot of mean people, like, when it comes to streaming, people make fun of people's looks. I'm not an ugly dude by whatsoever standard. I actually get hit on quite a bit, believe it or not. But, you know, industry-wise, it's hard. But I'm not an actor, keep that in mind. I'm not a singer. I just work on the opposite end of things like producer, associate producer, sometimes executive producer, depending on where they need me. I can also do camera work, sound work, I do that type of stuff. So I'm opposite side. I'm the people that work with actors to create these amazing visual concepts, right? So, you know, but obviously with the pandemic, this is kind of how I even got started in VTubing. Like, you know, in the pandemic, the whole industry shut down where I was. You take a guess where that was? The Big Apple, because we got hit arguably the hardest out of everybody when it came to COVID-19. I mean, it's unfortunate, but that's the truth. So what ended up happening, you know, was my industry shut down, and then when they started to hire back up, companies would blackball talent, you know. They would try to hire people, you know, they gave their gigs to the most experienced people. I am very experienced, but I'm not at the highest of the food chain for the industry that I work in, right? There's people who are higher up and they went back to work first, and then everybody else, they tried to undercut them with pay. So, you know, sometimes I take gigs still, sometimes I won't. Sometimes I will do more stuff in journalism industry, sometimes I won't. You know, it depends on the day, it depends on the client. I kind of work at the moment right now freelance. So whatever gigs I feel is worth it, whatever I feel is going to be profitable, whatever I feel is something that is going to respect my personal time as well, I go for that. And the good thing is, you know, I'm in a position at this point where I can get away with doing those type of things, Wolfies. Not everybody can say that they're able to get away with all that stuff. That's why I'm fortunate enough that at the moment I can do VTubing as a... Well, there's that banging coming from. Well, if you hear some banging in the background, please pardon that noise, but it's not really going to matter because I have work to do. You know, so just like everybody else has to work, I am working from home right now. So if somebody doesn't like it, that's banging on my wall, they can kick rocks. So I pay rent like everybody else does. All right. With that being said, though, you know, there's also the situation of, like, what do you do? You know, so, like, I take freelance gigs, but because of everything, I'm at a position where I'm fortunate that I am able to also pursue VTubing, right? Because it just so happens that my schedule works where I can VTube, you know, 5 days a week. I probably could do it 8 days a week if I wanted. Well, there's not 8 days a week, but you get 7 days a week if they wanted or not, you know, they wanted to or not. It's a good position. Like, some people ask why I don't do longer content, or I do longer streams. The reason for that really is I used to do it on Twitch, right? So on Twitch, I used to stream on Twitch for like 8 hours a day for 5 days a week because I was kind of pushed into doing Twitch with like roommates at the time, right? It was something that I would not necessarily 100% keen on, but my roommates saw at the time, I don't live with those people anymore, that it was a way to make some cash. They saw it as a way, and they were like, yeah, well, you got to stream X amount of hours and you got to do this, and they pushed it when I was really, my more focus was on YouTube. So I used to stream on Twitch 8 hours a day. Anybody that streamed on Twitch for 8 hours a day as an indie VTuber knows that streaming on Twitch is probably best done if you can do it for like 3 or 4 hours. Anything over that amount of time that you do, most likely you're doing it for not really great reasons, because you are not going to get, for all intents and purposes, a how do I put it? You're not going to get, hope you don't hear it out of the background. If you do, my apologies. But as I said, like, you're not going to necessarily get a lot of viewership, right? Because let's put it honest, when it comes to Twitch, discoverability is kind of a ridiculous thing, right? You know, the algorithm on Twitch is kind of crazy. You've got millions and millions of people streaming on Twitch. You have hundreds upon hundreds of thousands upon thousands of VTubers. And they're all going to be streaming for the same amount of time. So I kind of noticed that when I stream for 8 hours a day, it would be an interesting experience, because here's the thing. I get a lot of people on Twitch streams that would come in, and you could kind of tell that they were people that were not supposed to be on. You could tell they were much younger audience that were not, you know, like, of what should be TOS, right? Like, you know, because obviously you got to be 13 or under to be on those type of things. You slow down here because I need to stop for gas, I would say, because we're halfway through. So we're going to stop for gas here a minute at the gas station, and we'll get back on the road because it's going to be a while before we get into the next particular area. Hold that for 1 second. I don't want to crash more of my truck because we've spent a lot. Let me make sure that it goes in correctly. All right. Yeah, so with that being said, the hell is going on back there? All right. It's a weird time for construction to be happening. Why are they banging on the walls now? That is crazy. I'm not going to go knock on somebody's door, Wolfies. Be like, yeah, you do realize I'm working here, right? Yeah, but with that being said, let me make sure I don't crash my car here too, because that's very annoying. Give me 1 second. I want to mute here to something. 1 second, Wolfies. Get me pause here. Is that coming up on my microphone? Let's see. Okay, you're not hearing that. That's good then. I was wondering that. I was like, oh, let me see before we do it. We got an hour left in stream, so once we finish this gig, I will do that. Thank you for noise gate, right? Because if it hadn't been for noise gate, you would probably be hearing the hammering that I am hearing, and we crashed the vehicle thanks to that distraction. That's lovely. But yeah, you know, so that's a good thing is, like, I was streaming on Twitch, right? Like I said before we got rudely interrupted. So yeah, you know, streaming on Twitch 8 hours a day, and then, like, I would notice, like, much younger audiences that were not supposed to be on Twitch were coming into my chat. You know, I'm having to ban people who are obviously not of the age of the terms of service. And then, obviously, on Twitch, what would happen a lot of the time is I would have to be like, you know, there were people who would come in and be like, yeah, can I play with you? I'm like, I'm not playing with viewers right now. It was nothing, like, personal, but it's like, you know, when you kind of can tell there are people who are not supposed to be on stream during this time. It was not summer months. We're talking about, like, actual school months. Like, what are you not doing in school? And if you were not in school, are you being homeschooled? Then, like, clearly, a whole bunch of stuff. So I used to get a lot of the can I play with you type of things on. We have the lights on? Can't even tell if we have the headlights on. Let's assume we have the headlights on. So yeah, what would happen a lot of the time is I would have a tendency to, you know, get that type of crowd where it was a much younger audience that shouldn't have been there. And, you know, the discoverability was kind of weird, like stream 8 hours, but you get the wrong audience. And then it was like weird stuff too. Like I would get people that would act very weird on Twitch too. So it's kind of the reason why I kind of stopped streaming on Twitch. And it was get tiring too. Like you're streaming for 8 hours and you're getting maybe, on a good day, we get about 50 viewers on Twitch. On a bad day, we get about like 10 to 15. But like, it got to the point where I felt like I was becoming a virtual babysitter, right? Like I wasn't connecting with people necessarily like now, how we do it here in the Moonlight Brew. We have a much older, more mature audience because of the games I play and the way I present myself. I used to play Fall Guys because I kind of enjoyed Fall Guys. And then I kind of realized if you play Fall Guys or you play Fortnite, guaranteed that always you're going to attract a much young audience, which is going to kind of, was that a bird or was that a plane? It looked like something just crashed in the background here, right? But yeah, so it got to the point where realistically, you know, the crowd was a little too young. I'm glad now that we have a much mature audience here because I couldn't, like, I would stream on Twitch and then for 8 hours I had people coming in and like, can I play with you? I'm not playing with viewers today. And then there would be people that would, you know, God bless. One time I had this viewer that really thought that I was a real life anime character. And that's how I said, and they're like, you are too young for this platform if you were thinking that. And like, I didn't want to break this person's spirit because they truly believed like I was a real life anime character that had been like trapped on the internet. And like, what do? You know, I tried to be as nice as possible, and then my mods took care of it because they were like, yeah, this is definitely somebody who's not supposed to be on this platform. And, you know, then we did what we had to do because you have to ban. That's what you do because you can't get in trouble with these platforms for chibis not following TOS, right? And then there was this one time I had this viewer that saw that I was streaming WWE 2K22, was it at the time? 22, right? And they would come into my stream, and you could tell again they were a person who didn't obey TOS and was much younger than what Steve recommended age for Twitch. And again, we had to hand out a ban here, but they came, and we realized it by the second time that they were a much younger person. They would come in and they would start talking about WWE, and they were like, yeah, you know what, Roman Reigns, I can't believe Roman Reigns did that to Seth Rollins. He's really injured, man. You could tell that they were actually a wrestling fan and didn't realize wrestling is obviously a scripted program done for entertainment. And they would like go on and on about wrestling. There were times when we were streaming and we weren't streaming WWE 2K, right? And like I'd be streaming something completely different, like Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. And this is not bashing the viewer. This is just not telling you how I got tired of Twitch, because it was just like a lot of young people coming into my streams that were not supposed to be on platform. And they would come in and like I'm playing like Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak at the time, and they'd start talking about WWE and Roman Reigns again. Like they must have been a big Roman Reigns fan. They must have liked the head of the table thing. And my mom was like, yeah, this is definitely not an adult. This is definitely not a 13-year-old per se. We are gonna hit them with the ban, and we did that, man. So, you know, imagine streaming 8 hours and then you're kind of being the virtual babysitter. You're not getting like a mature crowd, and people would come in and like you play with viewer one time and then like it's all they ever want to do. And it's funny because now I'm a little bit more relaxed because I know we have a more mature group here. Obviously, most of the people that come in, because I have the YouTube analytical data that always pops up, is the 18 to 34 demographic, right? That's what our audience is. So I know that like if you ask me, can we play? And I'm like, nah, I'm only doing solo today. You're cool with that. And I love the fact that we have that more mature base here on YouTube. That's kind of why I always like YouTube, because I did YouTube before I did Twitch. And on YouTube, I've always been able to get the crowd that I necessarily want. We have, and this is a compliment to all of you Wolfies, at the fact that, you know, these guys are cool. You're chill. You don't act up. You don't act inappropriate. You know, I'm very lax with my rules. The only rule really has always been here. We almost went to jail. We almost hit that cop. Ooh, that would have been scary. I was actually really scared there. I'm more scared that we were going to damage our truck than we were going to do anything necessarily, right? So yeah, with that being said though, like, you know, I love the fact that we are, I hope I didn't blow my wheel out here doing that, because it seems like we might have done that. But yeah, you know, I love the fact with my audience here that we're more mature, we're cool. You understand that I'm not always playing with viewers on stream, but there's sometimes I do. You know, I have my community game nights even on Discord. If you're not playing Discord here, and you like the chill atmosphere and, you know, you enjoy what I'm doing here as a VTuber, trying to keep it real and very authentic, even the presentation, and definitely, you know, hit that subscribe button, follow Discord link, join, you know, small Discord at the moment, because we've had to remove a couple of people that just kind of went in to advertise. You know, I do have a place where you can advertise, but the rules, you can only advertise once per day. And there was like people who would come in and like not ever talk, and then like I would say I'm streaming something, and literally the same day they would like copy the game and stream that game that day. And that's kind of a no-no with me, because it's like, what? Why are you doing that? It's a naughty thing. You know, I don't know. Imitation is highest form of flattery, right? Yeah, but I love the fact that you guys are all cool and we can have cool, mature adult things and, you know, conversations. Not like dirty conversation, but mature adult conversations, and everybody keeps it cool and chill. That's the way it should always be. That's the way I've always wanted and envisioned my community on YouTube. I wish it would have been like that on Twitch. We probably would have kept it like that on Twitch. But, you know, Twitch is an interesting experience. I don't knock it, that's Twitch. I have friends who stream on Twitch exclusively, and they don't like to stream on YouTube because they don't like, you know, stream on YouTube for whatever reason. And you know, that's their prerogative, right? But like Twitch is a much different environment. Like people, I don't know, like maybe because it's younger people that watch Twitch, and you got much older crowd that watch YouTube. Because I always kind of feel like that. The more mature people, not like, how do I put more mature? Like mature as in age, but also like mature as in intellectual maturity, are on YouTube. And then like for people who are more immature, both an actual maturity age as well as just like a mentality state, they're on Twitch. And I'm not saying that's always the case, but I feel like in my 3 years of experience with messing around with Twitch, of the 4 years that I did content, because I started on YouTube first, and then a year into YouTube, I branched into Twitch to kind of do experiment. We had affiliate there, and I continued to do it a little bit for a while. Like I would do, what was it, like 3 times a week on YouTube, 2 times on Twitch, and then I kind of stopped doing YouTube for a while, and I went completely Twitch, and then that's when I realized, like, because I had the affiliate to go, all right, kind of try to go where the money is, right? I realized like the pay wasn't that great on Twitch. We were making $50 every 3 months on it, and like the pay wasn't great. The environment of our viewer base was not the type that I was interested in molding for our channel. And you know, there's just like I had a lot of negative experiences with people on Twitch, both on a creator end, and that's not like throwing shade at any creator by name, as well as just like, you know, it's a different, I feel like Twitch is a more toxic environment. No disrespect to people who stream on Twitch. That's why it's just like, yeah, I'm mostly always going to stay YouTube exclusive. I like what YouTube does, because I feel like it's just a more mature, chill type of viewer base here. The one thing I do like about playing American Truck Simulator is I can chat quite a bit with you while I do this and not like crash the car. We're literally on just an open road with nothing going on right now. You know, so, like, I still will probably have to do one Twitch stream in the upcoming future, which will probably be like a 2-minute stream to say, hello, how are you doing? I am not on Twitch anymore. I am exclusively on YouTube, but I have to keep this for the affiliate status. I have to required to do one stream. It doesn't have to be a long stream, it just has to be streamed. So we'll probably have a 5-minute Twitch stream coming up in the not too distant future. Or I just say hello and the state of what's going on and what's going on with Twitch. And why I'm not on. On top of that, like, the Twitch has a lot of controversial stuff going on too, where it's like, you know, there was the artistic nudity thing that I had to talk about, and then after that, people skeeting that for like provocative ways, where they were like putting the gaming screen on their butt as well as their chest area, and then they banned that. And so I feel like people find a way to try to like stretch the rules of Twitch quite a bit. And like the way Twitch is now compared to the way it was when it was in the beginning it's just much different. Like, I want to say, like, I feel like Twitch has slowly become an adult entertainment site, but it really hasn't become to the point where I don't understand why Twitch isn't like 18 plus, because realistically speaking, that's what it is. They have 13 and up TOS, but they're more like an 18 plus website at the moment, and that I'm not for that. Like I said, people always ask me why I'm say so, and they think, oh, he's a joke, he's gonna be lewd or he's gonna curse, and stuff. No, I'm 100% say so on here, because I don't feel like anything I do adding curses to it or being lewd or being provocative or being raunchy is going to benefit my content in any way. It's shock value with any value whatsoever to me, and I've always felt, and I'm, again, no disrespect, because I have friends that kind of do a little bit of shock value, not pushing the envelope super far, but they do a little bit of shock value. That shock value will generate interest for a while and it will pop something, but then you're going to get the wrong type of people. I know in Twitch, when I used to kind of curse a little bit and say stuff, I attracted the wrong type of people that then would think, oh, well, he's a toxic gamer, and I will act toxic in his streams because that's what he does. You know, and then I realized, like, yeah, I'm gonna stop doing this on stream because it's not generating the right type of viewers, and you're getting people who are acting inappropriate and will say inappropriate things, and that's kind of, you know, another reason why. But yeah, I keep things say so because I don't see any value in shock value. It'll pop a number for a while, maybe, but eventually what happens is when you do a lot of shock value for channel content, you eventually generate a negative type of viewer base, and people will be like, well, what are you talking about? Well, remember the Sniper Wolf incident where she doxed the guy on stream? And then remember her viewer base that went and like almost literally kind of was gonna roll up to this dude's house because of what Sniper Wolf did? Yeah, that just kind of shows you what happens when you build your viewer base to act a certain way. So me, when I was creating this channel, has always been like, we have to keep things where it's positive. We have to keep things where it's non-toxic. We have to keep things where everybody's kind of like cool and chill with each other, because I'm one of these firm believers that if you act positive and chill and act cool and not necessarily act like a model citizen in society, but you act a certain way, which is becoming of human beings that are mature, that people who watch you will learn something from you and will, you know, take that to heart. And, you know, at the end of the day, we're all humans on the internet. I want to treat everybody with respect. You know, I have people who are not even a fan of my channel that don't necessarily like the type of content I do, or they may have a disagreement with me for whatever reason, and I still will treat those people with respect. You know, I don't bash them on stream. I don't talk about them on stream. I don't, you know, the type of person that, like, even if you're necessarily my worst enemy, I don't mean that I have a worst enemy. I'm just saying, like, you know, because some people might view me as a threat to, I don't know, their channels or their corporations or whatever the hell you want to call it, or, you know, their groups, or, you know, they feel like I'm a threat and I take away from their viewers. Like, again, as a VTuber, I've never viewed anybody that is fellow VTubers in my industry as competition. I feel like we're all people who work in the same industry. Some of us have had more success than others, naturally. And we're all, you know, part of the same community. I'm not, again, not trying to take anybody's job. I'm not trying to steal anybody's Oshi away from them if they're a viewer. I'm not trying to compete with somebody. I'm not trying to compete or take away jobs from somebody else at a place. I am here to entertain. My objective is to entertain people in a cool, chill way that is genuine in terms of presentation. And my other objective is to have fun with these guys here. My objective is to be interactive with these guys. Like, I listen to your input. That's why we did the movie nights. Like, I know these guys kind of missed when I did the movie nights and did, like, my peel back the curtain talk with my film industry degree about stuff that was going on in the channel. How much gas we have? Enough to make this ride. We got 2 hours and 21 minutes here. I don't want to get a speeding ticket by a cop that's camping out here, so we'll slow down a bit. Yeah, so there's that. You're probably wondering why during this drive I didn't have to stop to sleep. I don't like the sleep mechanic in American Truck Simulator because I feel like it breaks the immersion of driving on the road. And I am terrible at the sleep mechanic, so I do have it turned off, in case you're wondering. Because I feel like if I put the sleep mechanic on, I'm going to wreck my car. My car is a lot of money. That's not going to be fun for me personally as a gamer. I like the realistic nature of the game, but having to take a sleep during a drive when people realistically are up for 13 hours on the road, even though it's not recommended, but a lot of truck people do that. Yeah, I prefer just to have that type of authenticity not in my game. And it's cool that's an option that I can disable. I know some people have it enabled. I don't. Again, I don't like it because cars are expensive. I don't take out loans in this game. And it would make grinding a lot longer for a person who doesn't have time to play this all the time. Because, as you see, I do play multiple games, not just this game. I play various different things. We have Monster Hunter, we have this, we have that. So, that is why I do the things that I do. But, I love that, though. It's genuine with the presentation. But, like, even people who think that I'm competing with them, I'm not. Like, I'm nobody's enemy. Like, people I've even had, like, not necessarily falling outs, but disagreements with, and we don't speak anymore. For me, that's not, like, I don't view anybody like that. It's like, cool, we don't talk anymore. That's fine. I don't hold grudges. I don't, like, it's just, I'm at a point in my life where I'm so mature to the point where, like, something happens, okay, it happened. I might be upset for a little while, and I just dust off my shoulders. Like, even people I not incredibly high and keen on, doesn't necessarily mean, like, if they were in trouble, with certain things, or that I wouldn't necessarily try to help them. That's just the type of person I am. It takes a lot for me personally to, like, get on my bad side. There's only, like, one individual that I will probably never speak to again. And it's not somebody I met through, like, content creation. Somebody I know personally that I went to school with, actions and things they said to me that I will never forgive them for. Because there's just very hurtful stuff, right? Like, I'll tell you the story. I had a friend that used to, obviously I went to high school with them, right? And that friend, eventually went on and lived his life, went his separate direction. I did as well. And there got to a point where we met again, years later, based on a circumstance that was going on in my life, during COVID era, right? And this guy, literally, and he was, like, at one point my best friend in high school, right? This guy, literally, because, I just told you the story of how when I was in the industry and the pandemic happened, everything shut down. You're not getting work, you're not getting money, times are rough, you fall on hard times, right? This guy criticized my career that I had. He criticized the fact that I enjoyed to play video games. He criticized, just about every aspect of myself. And one day, when we were having a conversation over dinner, he's like, I can't associate myself with people unless they have very high social status. As they put it, you have to be going somewhere in life. You have to be successful, and you know what? You have direction, and what was it? It was basically like, if you're not doing a job or working in industries that he considers is acceptable and deemable. If you don't own a house, and you don't own a car, and you don't own, I guess, what old school people would consider like the American dream, you are a loser, and that he cannot associate with you. And when he told me those things, I took it to heart, and I, kept it very civil. And I never spoke to the person again, because I was like, I'm the type of person in life where I don't judge people in the type of work they do. I know people who are streamers, and I'm not going to tell them that what they do is not a real job. I know people who obviously work in film industry. I'm not going to tell them that that's not a real job, because obviously I'm part of said industry. I know people who are journalists. I'm not going to tell them that writing is not a real job. This person worked like as a delivery, ironically, a truck driver that would like deliver parts to somewhere and fix things. And because that apparently to him was like an American dream, and because he was like doing what old boomer type of headspace type of thinking is, that like his job was like super important. Like he would like treat himself like if this dude was making like, Bill Gates money, right? So like, and like was high society, and like you're doing a very blue collar, like good for you that you have a house and car and everything. But when he said that type of stuff, and I can't associate with people unless they're going up in the world, it's everything you need to know about a person's personality, because they're not interested in being friends with people for who the people are. They're only interested in being friends with people because they can get something out of said person. And that's unfortunate when people think that way. It's a very closed mind way of thinking. You push out a lot of good people like that. You devalue people's value as human beings by saying things of that nature. And I've always been the type, like, again, I respect everything. I don't treat anybody's job like it's not a real job. I don't treat anybody like they're a lesser person than me. I am a type of person where, like, if you have $2 in your pocket, and that's the only $2 you have in your pocket, you and I can still be friends. I'm not going to be friends with people because, like, of their social status, or how much money they have, or how many, how famous they are, or how lack of fame they have. That's not me. I'm not about that type of thing. If you're a cool person in real life, if you're a cool person that lives a very moral life, if you treat people with dignity, if you treat people with respect, if you try to help people, if you're a good individual, and by helping people, I don't mean like you go out of your way to like build a shack every month because it will clear your conscience and, hey, I did this good thing, it makes me feel good. Like, I'm not saying that that's not necessarily makes you do good thing, but when you go out of your way to be like, hey, look what I did, so you can get praise and accolades from people, as opposed to just going out and doing it, like, that's kind of where I take issue with people. Because if you're a good person, you just do good things naturally. You don't need a pat on the back for it. You don't have to do it something once a month because you feel like it, that's going to make you think you're a good person. You know how you can be a good person in real life? You help people whenever they're in need. You treat people with the same dignity. You lift people up, not put them down. I will always say this till the day I die, because I want this to be hit a point that hits close to home for a lot of people here at the Moonlight Brew, because this is like very important life advice. Help people out. You treat them with respect. Nobody is higher than you on a food chain because of social status. You treat your family well, whether you have wife and kids, or just a wife. You treat your friends right. You treat your friends with respect. You see a person that's homeless on the street, I'm not saying necessarily you give them $1, because you never know, right? But like, if you can give them like a chicken sandwich, McChicken from the dollar menu, you do those things. Oh, I didn't know that we never driven out to Reno. That's cool to know here. You do those type of things to be a good person. You don't like do something for a photo op, or you do something because you're getting a free meal out of it at the end of the day because you went and you built a couple of shacks. Like, it's interesting how people will do certain things and say they're a good person because they did that, and then they'll say something like, I can't associate with people that are not going up in the world. when they said that again, like, this is just me being real with all of you. I don't know how many of you would still stay friends with somebody that said that either. Maybe you'll have a viewpoint, but for me, that's like, you don't respect human beings. And you don't respect that human beings go through different things in their life, right? Like, everybody falls on hard times at some point, especially after the pandemic, right? You know, so it's whatever. You know, but when that happened, I was like, yeah, I'm never gonna really associate with this person ever again, because I was in a red light violation. He turned 2. That's what I get for talking about this, right? Yeah. So, you know, it's just like, that was a very... Who did I crash? I feel like the game is trying to take as much money away from us as possible. That wasn't my fault. That was that somebody didn't obey my blinkers. Yeah, but, you know, when that thing, that just kind of kills it for me. And I've had some really good friends over the years that weren't like that, that I haven't talked to them in a while because they're just busy living their life because, you know, people move. And, you know, a lot of my really good, true, close friends live on the West Coast right now. I might not get to speak to them often. I might not get to say hello because, you know, it's hard. I'm on the East Coast right now. Sometimes I will, you know, try to go and pay people to visit on the West Coast. I don't always get to, but, like, you know, most of my good, close, genuine friends live on the opposite side of the coast to me. Some of them don't even live on this part of the world and live in Japan. What is that? Is that going to be like a car dealership? If it is, we can fix my car after this, right? It's a dealership. I kind of want to fix my car now because I don't want to have to drive back here. Did we do this? I'm going to fix my car because it took a lot of damage, right? I'm not going to... Oh, it's a Peterbilt one, too. Okay, cool. Let me fix my car first, Wolfies. Then we'll... Because we're near it anyway. So... Oh. Can I not fix my car? What's a job offer? Oh, my fixing the car's up that way, pardon me. We'll spend a little money and make a little bit more money? Oh, what happened? Oh, game. Oh, game. I mean, our trailer kind of got damaged here. Let's see if I can get it in. But yeah, my thing is treat people with respect, man. It's not about social status. It's about if they did good things in their life. It's not about how much money or what they're... wherever they have things. It's about who they are as individuals, whether they'll be there for you at all times. And if not, well, I hate to say it, but you cannot be a friend of the Moonlight Brewmaster, because I don't entertain that type of energy here. Can I not fix this right now? Oh, you gotta be kidding me, game. Oh, we can fix it, but it's... Oh. We can fix it, but it's on that side. Oh, let's be careful here, Wolfies. Be very careful how I do this. Not trying to damage. We spent enough money on this gig. I feel like we were going to lose at least 7,000 on this gig. At the very least, right? Can I fix it? Service. 8% damage. Service recommendations. Only 1,000? How much to repair all? 16,000. We're not repairing all. We're just going to do the service recommendation for now. Alright. Why? Because I can't have my car that's smashed up. We need it to actually work in terms of operational costs. 1 second, because I'm trying to see how we drive out of here. Can I drive through there, or is there a... I can't see. Can I drive over that? Watch me damage the car after I fixed it. Like a genius, right? Okay, good. Wait. I'm not trying to get the car smashed. We just fixed it. Just fathom. Like, the only reason I'm fixing it, too, is because we're very close to it. But yeah, if you took anything away from the stream, be a good person, be genuine, be honest. That's, like, my life advice to human beings. And when you do those things, the world will reward you for being... That bus almost smashed my car. I would have been furious. Especially after we just paid to fix it. But that's, like, life advice. Be genuine, be cool, be honest. Everything. That's how I am here. That's how I wish a lot of you guys are. That's why I'm like you guys, the viewers that come all the time frequently, like They're Big in particular, and Snowx, who I know watches my stuff but doesn't always chat. You know, it's cool to see that. It's red light. I think we can turn on a red light, can we not? Because it's a turn that I'm making. It's not turning with one of those turn signals that they do. You know, so it's good. How long did it take to do this gig? About 2 hours, so 16-hour gig is roughly 2 hours, give or take. Well, we did it, Wolfies. We made it to our destination. Amazing that it took a whole job to do. Slow down a bit. Why? Because there's the trailer. We gotta turn the trailer. I don't want it to get caught into the corner. How much money do you think we're gonna make on this one? What in the world was that? Oh, game. What in the world happened here? I have an idea. Give me 1 second, Wolfies. I have an idea. Probably like, category, what you're doing? Trust me. Gotta get some positioning here. Then once we park this truck, I will be ending for the day. So let's see this here. Uh-oh. Not the way I want to do it. This is going to be rough, because you see how the car's parked? I got to back it out to then back it in. Let's not mess up here, Wolfie. And try. See, pardon me. Let's wait here. Let's wait. Let's wait. Let's wait. Turn a bit. Right. Okay. I don't know if we're going to be able to do this. I hope we don't then screw this up now. Okay. You're probably like, why'd you do that? I'm trying to see if we can... 10% trailer damage. We're not going to make a lot of money off this kid. Let's see if that's enough to pull it in. Oh my god. That was rough. That was rough, man. This wasn't the best. We're just going to play it safe. Proceed to play it safe. Oh, okay. The real trolling has begun, Wolfies. I don't... Oh, man. Can I just... I put... Play it safe. Oh, I gotta see if we can drive this in here without doing any more damage. Nope. You know what? Let's be smart about this. I'm gonna just say I'm in a hurry. No XP bonus. So we got an excellent satisfactory. Alright, well, because we smashed it up. We lost $3,000 there because of the damage bounty, but that's fine. Ooh, that was a tough one. Continue. How much time is that? Because I believe that's all the time that we're going to have for today's stream. Oh, we got about 40 minutes left. Is there a quick job we can do? There's a quick job we can do. Let me see if there's a gig here that's quick to do, right? If there's another gig for us to do, we'll do one here. There's another job. If not, we're just gonna kind of have to wing it. Thinking probably there's not a gig we can take. It doesn't look like there's any jobs to do by location. But I don't know where... Actually, I don't even know how to get out of the warehouse. Reno is a very difficult area, I'll tell you that much, in terms of how many places you can smash up a truck. Is there a job we can do? Let's see if there's a small one we can do. Because we're already here. Let's see, freight market. An hour and 30. We could do that. It's a $6,000 job. We'll need it for car repairs anyway. Can I skip this part? No, I can't. Alright. We'll do this one and then we'll close up the stream afterwards, Wolfies, okay? Let's just make sure we don't smashy. Don't tell me that's what I'm picking up, because it'll be kind of sad. No, it's not. That's a forklift. Okay. Do you see what we're picking up? Because I don't. Oh, okay. Good to know, good to know. Okay, let me... Ooh, wrong way. Give me 1 second. 1 second, 1 second. This might actually... That's a small one today. Do we not get it? Give me 1 second. We gotta be perfectly lined up here to be able to attach to this car. I think we should be able to. This is gonna be quite a challenge. Alright. Let me wait. Here we go. Yay, we're driving this cargo. Where are we driving it to? Looks not too far, it seems. Which review. The good thing is this isn't a super long haul, so we don't have to worry so much about the physics. We'll drive this. It's an 8-hour drive? Said it was an hour gig. Alright, I guess we're going into overtime then. 8-hour gig times... We're gonna go a little bit into overtime then, Wolfies. So, hey, your Moonlight Brewmaster, you're gonna get a little bit longer of a stream than I was intending to. Just because I hate to start this and not finish it. Although, part of me is kind of regretting that I took this gig. How far are we driving? Probably driving back to California, right? Alright, I'm gonna put the turn signal on. Or you tell me. Not telling me. Why is that like this? This is the only area where I've had that happen. Come on. Oh, goodness. And this car is going to be in a hurry, too. Wait. They're really persistent on smashing my car up. Wait. I had to right away. I'm a truck for crying out loud. Alright, so we'll do this one delivery thing, and then we'll close it out. I think we should be good. 8 hours. Probably about 40-minute car drive in-game. So, you know, it's interesting. We have other stuff planned for this week on the channel, so we will be playing World a couple times. Let me hit this turn. Remind me that I have to get gas at the nearest gas station. That's the repair center. I forgot that the car automatically on the turn signals will stop after a while. Let's do... Oh, big time limit here? Hey, we've at least made some good money today. So that's a plus, Wolfies. Let's continue to drive here. Hope you're all doing very, very well. You know. Like I said, movie nights also, I can make an announcement. So this week, we're actually going to be doing a movie night on Friday instead of my original game that I had planned for streaming. So we... Oh, my car. That's what I get. I thought we could get that, turn that in good. Apparently I'm a terrible driver. Our movie night this week, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, we're going to be watching the cult classic called Munchies. It's from 1987. It was produced by Roger Corman. Roger Corman's brother, Harvey Corman, plays in the movie. It's kind of like a Gremlins knockoff. It is available to watch on Tubi. I will be watching it on Tubi with you all. So definitely tune in 8 p.m. Eastern. Then the following week on Friday, there'll be another movie night. We're going to be watching an old school movie called The Diver, based on the manga/anime. That movie has Mark Hamill, who does kind of a cameo in the film. So that's going to be a fun one as well. So definitely make sure to check that one out. Then the week after that one, we're going to have another movie night on Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be watching the sequel to The Guyver, that being Guyver Dark Hero, aka Guyver 2. Which, fun fact about that movie, the person who voices Snake and Solid Snake, and I guess Big Boss in the Metal Gear Solid games, aka David Hayter, or Hayter, is the person who is the lead actor in Guyver 2. So you actually get to see IRL David Hayter actually in a live-action movie, and it's a really good live-action movie. Guyver 2, I would say, is actually better than Guyver 1, but in order to see Guyver 2, you do need to be familiar with the plot of Guyver 1, which is why I want to watch Guyver 1 before I do anything else. What is that logo that's up there? What is this? Agriculture inspection head, prepare to slow down. They're gonna inspect the produce, literally? I've never seen this in American Truck Simulator. This is gonna be new. Yes, I know. Stop. Okay, are you inspecting this? How does this work? Does it just get inspected and I drive by? That's all it does? That's so weird. I guess for immersion, right? That car almost clipped me. I was gonna get so mad over that. I was very confused by that. Why did they make me stop then? What was the point in it? Failed to stop for inspection. I did. Oh, this game is trolling right now. I stopped for the inspection. They didn't do anything. Was I supposed to stop the engine too? Alright, well, yeah, that's fine. Take my fine. I still gotta make some of the money back, not a lot of it. So this gig was all for nothing at this point. Abandon all hope, Wolfies, because at this point, you know, our game is just joshing me at this point. Slow down. I don't want a speeding ticket on top of that. Huh. Well, what are we gonna be able to do here? At least it's a nice night out, going into morning. Probably should keep my eye on the road. That way we don't run into any unforeseen incidents. I feel like I crashed the car way more times today in this area. I'm not familiar with this particular area of American Truck Simulator. And again, I'm not a real driver. I am playing this on controller. The controls on controller are not bad. Not bad necessarily. They're also, you know, at times can be a little bit confusing, like to turn the headlights on. Or another thing too that's confusing is like if it says the job an hour and 30 minutes to take it, I assume that the gig was going to be an hour and 30 minutes and not an 8-hour drive that extends my play session a little bit longer than I was intending. And yeah, we could like back out and continue this next time, but I do play this off the stream, so if I don't continue it then next time, it would kind of put us at a disadvantage. But if I knew that the destination was going to be a lot longer, it was going to be like an 8-hour drive to get there during traffic, probably wouldn't have done it. But yeah, those are the movie nights that we're going to do. For the games, like I said, Diablo 4 has kind of been on a little bit of the back burner for now because Season 3, I finished Season 3. Season 4 is until the middle of May. So we still got a couple weeks before that gets started. So I just kind of want to like kind of chill right now and play a couple games I'm not going to be able to play during Diablo 4. Because yeah, when Diablo 4 Season 4 starts, I'm going to be jumping back into a seasonal character, do very similar to what we did in Season 3. Where I start a seasonal character from the beginning and we build them up to level 100 throughout the season. Ah, that's cute. They get to turn there. That's DLC. I haven't bought any DLC in the game. Like, you could buy different areas to go to. Are we turning here? No, we're going straight, so I can't turn. And we will do that, Wolfies. Let me, if you don't mind, I'm going to pause here a second because I am curious as to how much time we have on stream overtime. Oh, that's fine. Probably be like 2 hours and 20 minutes, give or take, when we finish this. Alright. Always hate when you switch the camera like that. Red light should be turning green pretty soon. Looks like it's going to be daytime. Speaking of the devil. Excuse me. Alright, so let's continue here. I figure probably by 2:30 mark we'll be finished with this drive. Roughly. So hey, you're getting a little bit of overtime, a little bit of extra time here tonight with your Moonlight Brewmaster. Hope you're all enjoying yourselves. Not familiar with who I am. My name's Category General. I am resident werewolf VTuber of the Moonlight Brew. Operate here. This place is a sanctuary for some. Some might consider it a sanctuary. Some might consider it a safe haven. Some might consider it their resident bar to go to. We play a wide variety of games here. We also do movie nights as well as sometimes I do just chatting. Sometimes, mostly I like to mix the just chatting with gaming because it makes more sense. Like when I'm playing a simulator game like ATS for this nature, it gives me a lot more leeway to actually just kind of chat your ear off. Hey, you want some Burger King, Wolfies? We can stop for a second and get ourselves a nice tasty meal. Although technically that's not Burger King. That looks more like it's legally distinct. That was a gas station. I don't want to U-turn to do it. We'll get gas at the next stop. because that's not along the way. You want some burgers? What is this? Dream burger? Do you want a dream burger? That doesn't sound very appetizing to me. You want to stop and get hot dogs, pizza, sandwiches at the hotel? Probably not. Speed limit is 30 here, so let's not try to be a speed demon here. Right? The thing is, we're going to miss our light because we're not speeding. You should never speed. That's a yellow. I'm not going to get a red light for penalty for that. You can drive through yellow lights. We just can't drive through red lights. This is a nice little quaint area. Nice little quiet town, it seems like. Oh, look at that. I've never seen this area before, so this is new to me. Look at the scenery. It actually looks nice. Look at this nice, peaceful house area. Speed limit's those 30? Can I speed up pretty soon, please? I guess they want you to take in this nice scenery here, Wolfies. That's like to go to a different area. That's DLC. Anywhere where you see yellow X's, that's part of paid DLC. Paid DLC packs in this game are about $11.99. Sometimes you can buy them in a bundle for like $30 where you get a whole bunch of areas. In the base game, oh, excuse me, I'm a little bit sleepy. But no, don't worry, I'm not going to crash the car though, Wolfies. So usually what happens is with DLCs, you wait till like big Steam sales, where like summer sale, winter sale, and what you do is you pick them up for that price. I'm going to pause a second because my leg is kind of falling asleep, and that would be bad for our stream. Yeah, my leg kind of fell asleep there, Wolfies. I don't want to have these guys all messed up there. Okay, let's continue. Do what we gotta do. Okay, the only thing is when it paused like that, it kind of feels weird then. I readjust. Alright, 55 is the speed limit here. Do you feel need for speed? Do we still have to have the taillights on at 5 o'clock in the morning? I think so, because by New York state law, if I were driving in New York, I think you have to keep the lights on until at least 6 a.m. when the sun's fully out. Look at the other cars. See, the other cars still have their lights on, so I'm going to obey the traffic laws of this area. The good thing is we could do 55 in this area, so we can speed up a little bit. The thing that's taking a long time is the speed limits are slowing us down. I suspect that's not going to be too much of an issue here, Wolfies. Let's go. See what we can do. Alright, nice. Let's do a turn here in a second. Probably should slow down. Yep, that way I don't smash our truck up anymore. Eventually what I want to do is I want to buy a new truck. And then I'm going to like service this truck. And this used truck, what I'm going to do with it is I'm going to hire a driver in-game. And the driver is going to drive the used truck. I will drive a brand new truck. And we will start the next phase of our trucking business so it can really truly make money. Because in the beginning it is a bit of a grind, right? Like, you just kind of slowly build things up. Like, I didn't take out any business loans in this game because I was like, I just want to kind of do it al natural because I don't want to go in debt. Like, in this game, if you take a business loan out, like, could you imagine the amount of money we'd be spending? The way I damage cars? Alright, let's slow down here. This is some nice scenery. Let me turn off the headlights because the sun is definitely coming up. We're not going to get a ticket for that. Get a ticket for speeding if I don't slow down, though. Has anybody here, Wolfies, been watching the Chucky TV series? As some of you might know, I'm an avid fan of horror films. Child's Play is one of my favorite films. So the Child's Play TV series, aka Chucky TV series, has been on the air for quite a while. Season 3 Part 2 came out just recently. I was a fan of the first part of the season. The second part of the season, I felt like the first 2 episodes of it kind of dragged on. I won't spoil it. The last 2... Ooh. Oh, why did you not... What is that car doing? Did you see? What is wrong with you? Because of the road work? You see how this game tries to intentionally sabotage you? You see how this game intentionally tries to sabotage you? So that your car and your trailer and everything sustains significant amount of damage. I am like so angry over that. This is the one thing that doesn't make... I'm gonna stay on this lane because I don't trust this truck driver. He's like out to troll me. I'm gonna switch sides now. That's the one pet peeve with this game. Like, I feel like the driving AI is still not technically up to snuff, so it'll do dumb things like that, and instead of turning where it's supposed to turn, it'll just stay parked. And, like, your only way around it then is, like, you saw when the road work happened, like, there's no way for me to drive through a different route unless I had DLC maps. So what I end up having to do is I had to drive through the area and damage a significant portion of my truck, which then took a significant amount of our profits away from us, Wolfies. That type of stuff really just bothers me in this game to, like, no end. And it's unfortunate that that's the case, but, like, those little things like AI driving tweaks, I'd like to see in the future. I feel like they need to be done. Let me slow down because we're just driving. That's a sharp turn, and we can't take a sharp turn with that much speed unless we want to be in their driving statistic where we, you know, meet with a Grim Reaper. I mean, I know a couple Grim Reapers that are VTubers that might be happy if they have a little bit more work in terms of Grim Reaping. Look at this site, though. That's beautiful, man. Eyes on the road, but look at that. This is what I enjoy about American Truck Simulator when the cars aren't frustrating me with the traffic. Look at that mountain view. Look at that. Like, I've never been to... I think we're in Nevada right now? Or Reno, wherever. I've never been to this area, but this looks nice. Like, the mountainside, this is peaceful just driving around. The fact there aren't a lot of air cars on the road right now because it's like 7 in the morning and it looks like there's a rural area, it's kind of cool. There's a stop sign coming up or something? What does that mean? Stop ahead. So it's telling you there's a stop ahead. Again, I'm not an actual driver in real life, so I don't know some of these signals. There's an X. That's like... That would take us to DLC area again, if I had the DLC. I might consider picking up some DLC in the future when... Like, there's the Steam Summer Sale. There might be prime opportunity to get stuff. Like, the next thing I'm going to definitely be picking up is the Gigabash DLC with King Ghidorah. And whatever their free Nemesis monsters are. It's Godzilla Nemesis DLC for Gigabash. So I'm definitely going to be buying that. I'm definitely going to be playing that. I will definitely be playing that on the channel when it drops, because just like how I did when Ultraman DLC, I dedicated a lot of time to giving Gigabash its flowers. It was a really fun kaiju brawler. It's basically like, I would say the Smash Brothers equivalent to kaiju games, because it's got Godzilla in the game, it's got Ultraman in the game, it's got another wave of Godzilla DLC coming out. It's like this spiritual successor of Godzilla, I want to say Unleashed, even though I wasn't a big fan of Godzilla Unleashed, but it's basically that. Spiritual successor in a way. The guys that do that game, which is Republic Games, amazing team. It's a labor of love. It shows, you know, the one thing I like about Republic Games and Gigabash in particular is the fact that whenever they announce DLC, like they won't talk about what DLC is coming in the future, and then like a month before the DLC is about to drop, they will be like, hey, guess what? This DLC is coming out, and guess what? It's coming out in like 3.5 weeks from now. So they're very secretive as to what they're doing in terms of like development, and then they'll just drop an update out of nowhere. And I like that. Some people get frustrated by that, but I think it's kind of cool because it's like, the one thing you always know is that Republic Games is very hard at work, and they're very secretive because they want to keep the surprise as awesome as possible. And they'll give hints along the way on their social media as the kind of stuff that's going around, because like, I could kind of pull the curtain back on this because it's not a big deal at this point. The lead developer, CERN, as he, a couple of months back when Godzilla -1 was in American theaters as well as Japanese theaters, it was like a January going into February, he took a picture of himself, not himself, actual physical self, but he took a picture of being at Toho Studios in Japan. I was talking about like Godzilla -1, and that was kind of the hint that he was talking to Toho Studios about potentially more DLC. And the other thing that I can confirm, because Gorumaru confirmed this for Gorumaru, who's a publication and also very active on Twitter and a big supporter of Gigabash, confirmed this, that the Godzilla license now, like when Gigabash does do Godzilla related things, Gigabash Republic Games has access to the vault. I know what a lot of people are probably asking. What the hell is the vault? Well, Wolfies, the vault means anything that's in Toho Studios' vault for Godzilla-related stuff, kaiju-related things, is fair game. So what does that mean? Kaiju like Varan, which we haven't really seen in any type of video games, could potentially be featured in Gigabash at some point, if they chose to do so. A suit that was never made, a suit that never actually got to actually do his film, Godzilla vs. Bagan suit, a lot of people know, they just recently used it for a festival, would be up for grabs because that's considered part of the Toho vault. The Frankenstein's monster would be part of the Toho vault as well. You know, so there's stuff that they can use that we haven't probably seen in a while, if they chose to do so. I would figure the biggest things would probably be, if they were going to use something from the vault, Bagan, because Bagan only had a video game appearance in Super Godzilla, which is a game. Be careful, these cops, I don't trust them. They're likely to give me a speeding ticket here. Yeah, I don't say you should never trust the cops, but in this particular situation, I am slightly concerned that they'll just give me a ticket for absolutely no reason. We need a gas station. We're getting dangerously low on gas. We still have quite a while to go. If we don't get that gas, we're going to be in for a bad time. But that's the cool really thing. So now they have access to the vault, like branch started turning. I think the biggest, because of the vault drop, I'd say it's safe to say that perhaps one of the wild cards, because they always kind of throw a wild card into the DLC for Gigabash, would be potentially that maybe what we're going to end up seeing is it's Bagan in Gigabash as a playable monster, as one of Godzilla's nemesis, excuse me. So that would be like super cool. I'm like, they're tugging on my heartstrings because it was just kind of like a tease, and that could just mean, you know, for if they do more Godzilla DLCs, which kind of implies a point that there might be more Godzilla DLC to come, which I think was kind of cool that Toho's so cool in giving Gigabash a license for Godzilla to use that way, you know. And Toho's a lot more open to this stuff too, because I was talking about this in my Discord. If you're not part of my Discord, you should probably join it, because I do peel the curtain back on stuff like from my journalist side of things. The one cool thing about Toho now is they're more open to having their licenses, particularly Godzilla, feature more games. Why do you think? Give me 1 second here. I'm trying to observe the area. Got a turn coming up. There's no gas stations around. This turn coming up this way? It looks like it. Man, I could really use a gas station right about now. In a small town? Guess what? I can't go for that gas station because it's blocked because it's part of DLC. That is some good troll in their game. That literally, it locked it behind a pay gate for me. The gas station there. I'm not cool with that. What? Aw, honey. I'm very peeved at the gas station part there. Oh well. I guess we're gonna have to look for the next one. Assuming we don't run out of gas before. Oh, lovely, my truck needs servicing. Now I'm not gonna know how much gas I have. We might be about to take a big fat auger, please. Our car needs to be serviced. Our trailer is damaged. We can't really get it serviced on the road. We're running low on gas. I'm gonna have to eyeball how much gas we have. What possibly could go wrong in this run now at this point? We get a speeding ticket and lose a whole bunch of money too, right? Oh, lovely. We got a red light violation. So we really, this one got bled through money quite a bit. I need a gas station. 555 divorce. Do any of you need a divorce, Wolfies? If so, that's pretty bad. And I feel sorry for you if you need to be divorced. There's got to be a gas station, right? Why is this a 30-mile-per-hour zone too? This is rough, man. I don't know, Wolfies. What are we going to be able to do here? We'll have to consider here, right? We'll have to see. I mean, we can't get the car repaired, right? My car needs service desperately because it took too many bangs. I might have to buy a new truck at some point. I don't want to take a loan out to buy a truck and then like service this truck because we won't. Paying off the truck, paying off the loan, it'll be kind of a nuisance. How much gas are we gonna have? It looks like a very little bit of gas. This is one of those situations where I'm kind of happy that I picked the mods so that we have better gas consumption. But if we don't get like a gas station within the next hour part of this, in-game, not actually in-stream, keep that in mind, we might not be able to do this. We might even have to call a tow truck, which would mean we'd lose the gig, we'd get penalized, our rating would go down, and we'd have to get a different type of job, man. I can't go back to streaming. That's not a real job, according to some people. Alright, let's go. Should be okay with this turn, Wolfies. Okay, that wasn't bad. Again, keep your eyes out for a gas station. I feel like the game really, when you need a gas station, is just like the one gas station that we could have used and it was blocked off by a pay gate. I don't even know how I feel about that. Kinda makes me salty, I gotta be honest. Like, stuff like that shouldn't exist. Where there's a gas station, but guess what? You can't use it because you don't have the DLC for that. So it looks like you should be able to use it, but because the area is blocked off by something else, the X signs, you can't get into it. Look at that. That's an X sign. That's fine. See, that's not so bad because I know I can't turn there, but a gas station that has X's on it, that's just mean. It's just cruel. Well, the truck is running good despite the fact none of our freaking things inside it work. Okay, I can't go there. I'm assuming by now, like after this part, there should be a gas station, right? Because there can't be like no gas station for X amount of miles. That would just be insane, Wolfies. Right? Like there's got to be a gas station. There's a rest stop there, but I can't get my car serviced there. It's just the area you pull into to sleep. It's a good thing I didn't put the sleeping on too, because if not, oh boy. Hold up. Is that a gas station? Nope, it looked like one from far. We had to slow down anyway. We were doing way more against the speed limit. I love that. I do feel like there's more people walking on these streets now in cities than before. That's kind of cool. I do appreciate that. Let's slow down. Not trying to get a ticket. A gas station? Anywhere? Anywhere? I'll be mad if, like, the gas station's at the end of our route. I'll be really mad there. Like, we get the gas station, but then we need a tow. Iron 52, so I figure this will take about 20 minutes more, give or take. And then once I finish this, we will be closing for the night. So, as the saying goes here, it's last call here at the Moonlight Brew. If you want another coffee or adult beverage, although technically you should not drink and drive, which is why I'm not having adult beverages today, Wolfies, despite the fact we have a lot of car damage here. You are running out of fuel. You should find a filling station. Yeah, I know I'm running out of fuel. Tell me something I don't know. I've been only looking for a fueling station for... There's like no fueling stations. I think the game is going to give us a big fat L here. I'm hoping we don't run out of gas. I'm hoping we don't. I'm really hoping we don't. Like, there was nowhere really to fill the gas station besides the U-turn, which I would have been very upset over that, right? You know, because you U-turn and then you deviate. There's got to be a gas station coming up, right? So we haven't seen a gas station for like over 2 hours in this town. Is that it? Nope. Gotta slow down. This is a nice area of town, though. I will say that. Is that a gas station? It's a rest stop. Does it have gas? It's a gas station, is it not? So it's a gas station, but I can't fill up my car here. That is some grade A trolling, man. Oh, lovely. Thanks for the car accident, bro. Well, this has been an unmitigated disaster, Wolfies. The amount of damage that this vehicle has, I am going to have to spend so much time repairing it. Assuming that our gas doesn't go down, Wolfies. That's the error figure, right? Like if our gas doesn't expire, because then we'll have to pay a toll, I'm assuming, to get it tolled. Like, there's a lot of bad things can happen right now. Where's this gas station? This is like gonna be my trucker villain arc at this point. I need a gas station. I need a gas station. That last one wasn't open. That's just like, I don't get it. I didn't even want to do like speeding because I'm afraid if we speed, it's gonna be worse for us. But man, it's been a rough mission on the road today. This is what the stressful part of having your own truck, though, in Truck Simulator. That's why some people only drive the ticket. Like, not the ticket, the rental trucks. So that if they smash it up, they're not, like, stressed out like I am right now. Like, I'm trying to figure out how much money I'm going to have to make to try to repair this car. And a lot of the crashes were outside of particularly one human error thing. Wasn't really my fault. Like, remember when we had to fix the car because we had to drive off the... What are you doing? We had to drive off the road because the road work and there was no other way around to get to our route and we were going to get far from our job. That wasn't our fault. And yet I still had to spend so much money trying to fix the car. What are you doing? Drive quicker. Thank you. I'm not trying to have road rage, but, you know, we don't have a lot of gas left and I'm desperate to, like, get into an area that would sell gas at this point. And this car is just like driving Miss Daisy literally right now. Who are you driving in there, man? Oh, thank God there's a gas station. We're pulling over. Oh, there's a repair center too. Oh, how do I get to that though? That better be a turn I can make, right? Ask and you shall receive. I hope the game rewarded us there for this nonsense. So 37 minutes away from our destination. What we're gonna do is we're gonna... Can we stop here? It don't look like it. And if it... Let me slow down. I'm gonna turn. Alright. I need to use the repair stop, but I gotta get gas. Alright. We're gonna go get our gas first. After we get our gas, we're gonna repair the car. We just barely made it. We just barely made it, Wolfies. Alright. Full tank of gas, that's gonna cost quite a penny. This is what happens when you start taking longer routes. It gets rough. The good thing is we'll level up, so we'll probably get the level up towards the end of this. Oh, not that bad. I was expecting way worse. Alright. We need to go to the repair center now, okay? That wasn't that anything got damaged. That's just the sound that makes when you gotta pay. Hold up. I'm changing the view this way just so I don't make a crucial mistake. Where's the repair center? Is it this way? It is. So we'll get the repair center, we'll repair the car. After we repair the car, the next thing I'm gonna do, we'll drive back on the road, we'll make the delivery, and all's well that ends well. How much does it cost to replace? 16,000? What's the recommended? Repair all? Okay. We'll go with the recommended, because replacing is a little bit more expensive. Okay. Well, we fixed our car, we got the gas, we lost about 6,000. So you know what's going to be ironic with this mission? When we do finish it, the 6,000 we made basically went to all the repair costs, so it was not even worth doing this job. outside of the fact that we got to spend a little bit more quality time with each other, Wolfies. If you enjoyed what you saw today, if you enjoyed our conversations and you're not subscribed to the channel, definitely consider subscribing to the channel. Smash that like button or whatever they say. And consider just being part of our community. We have a cool... I was about to mold. I'm like, if that gives me truck damage after all the nonsense that we just went through, after I just spent $6,000 repairing this vehicle, I was about to scream and go on a tirade. The likes that you've never seen me do, Wolfies. Like, I was about to go full gamer rage there. Alright. Let's go. Still really beautiful scenery in this area. I got scared because I was like, don't tell me there's more truck work up ahead. Because that has screwed us over consistently during this session of American Truck Simulator today. And hey, you got a little bit of extra time with me. You don't normally get that much. We'll go over the schedule a little bit. It has been modified from what you saw the other day. Like I always say when it comes to the schedule, it is always subject to change. It's not necessarily always going to be. We discovered a lot of areas I wasn't at before, though. It's cool. I hadn't done any of this stuff off stream, so it's nice to see like we found new areas to drive in. All right. Let's drive. Why are you stopped in the middle of a highway? What are you doing? Remember I tell you that AI is really funky? And how a lot of the accidents that happen aren't necessarily your own? This is why. It had a green light. It wasn't red before. Stuck in daytime traffic, 12 p.m., right? Yeah, I'm just trying to get to this mission done without wrecking our car. We're 10 minutes away from our destination, Wolfies. We're gonna make our money that we just spent on repairs, so literally we just broke even, not even. It was like nothing ventured, nothing gained here. And put the turn signal on now, so that they know I'm turning way ahead of time, so that we don't get any shenanigans. I'm looking in both rear view windows. Switch lanes, because I don't trust this truck. That truck in front of us has been very, 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 very sketchy in terms of how they're driving. Like, look at them. They're even trying to, like, switch into the lane. Look at that. Look at that. If I wasn't... Look at that. If I wasn't careful, remember I said sketch? That's why I was like, I'm going to let him go first. Because if we don't let him go first, he's going to damage my vehicle that we just repaired. And we're probably are not going to make a whole bunch of money anyway. Let me slow down. Hey, buddy. He's carrying hazardous materials, too. So, like, if we were actually bumping into his car, probably go up on fire. We can't have that. If we had that, that would be catastrophic, Wolfies. Let's continue forward. I gotta stay on this lane, because our destination is up ahead. Let's see if we can do this. Look at him, he's shifting there, so he didn't even have to be in that lane that whole time. Son of a monkey. Where are we driving now? I'm confused. Looks like it's just up ahead. We're delivering to the gas station, it looks like. Okay, let me keep my eyes peeled here. We're delivering to the dealership, okay. Let's do this. We're delivering tires, I think, right? Let's play it safe. Oh, that's an easy unload area. Well, at least it was easy towards the end. We can skip the parking part. We'll do that, just so we don't mess it up. Good work! Should have been excellent. So we didn't even break even. All we did was hit a level up here, which will be useful. Fragile cargo. We make more money doing that. Okay. Alright, Wolfies. That's going to be it for American Truck Simulator. Because we definitely went into overtime there. Which is good. We got to spend a little bit more time with each other. Let's go back into just chatting here in a second. So, alright, Wolfies. That was American Truck Simulator. We got like 20 extra minutes for that stream, which is good. Let us go over the schedule for this week. It has been modified quite a bit some of the changes should be reflected here. So yesterday at 5 p.m. Eastern, we played Monster Hunter World Iceborne. Today, American Truck Simulator in place of Final Fantasy VII OG. Final Fantasy VII OG will probably make its debut sometime next week. Thursday, tomorrow, we will be playing Monster Hunter World Iceborne at 5 p.m. Eastern. Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, movie watch along number 9, Munchies. That is available on Tubi. I will post all the details as to where you can watch it. Tubi is free. You just have to watch with ads. Same here. I'm going to be watching with advertisements as well, just because I want to know somewhere where we could watch it, where we'd both be synced up. Then on Saturday, 9 a.m. Eastern, we're going to be jumping back into Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. So a lot of Monster Hunter this week, because I'm not going to be able to play much of Monster Hunter come the middle of the month when Diablo 4 Season 4 starts, because we'll be shifting focus back to Diablo 4 Season 4 for a bit. And you get the movie night, which we haven't done in a while. You get Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, and we had a nice, chill, not so stressful, but sometimes stressful at times, American Truck Simulator stream. But with that being said, it is time for us to go here at the Moonlight Brew. So as the saying goes, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. I will see you tomorrow for Monster Hunter World Iceborne. Have a great rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you back here at the Moonlight Brew tomorrow, Wolfies.